Hi guys, hope you're doing all right. We're nearly through this and back at school. Today I'm going to show you how to draw a dog. So there's no perspective in sight. I'm just going to do a nice lesson on how to draw a dog. So by the end of it, we are going to have drawn something like this, hopefully. So what you'll need is a plain piece of paper, a pencil, a ruler, a rubber just in case, and colouring pencils if you have them. If you don't worry at all. Okay, so get your piece of paper and line it up portrait. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is draw yourself this oval shape. Okay, a lot like when you draw a face for a human. So draw that oval shape. It took me a few goes, so don't worry if you have to do it a few times. And then once you've done that, you need to get your ruler and do a sort of cross section like this. So you've got this one going straight down the middle here, and this one isn't quite, so that, if say that's the middle, it's a little bit further up because dogs have a bit of a longer face than ours. So pause your video, get your oval drawn with your little cross section there, and then we'll have a look at starting with the little snout bit. Right, so at the bottom, I'm going to start drawing the snout for the mouth and the nose. Okay, so I'm going to start with drawing these diagonal lines right at the bottom, which is going to be sort of where the mouth is. And then I'm going to draw sort of C shapes around. Okay, so you can already sort of start to see that it's that like dog mouth sort of look. So pause your video and get those bits drawn in. And then we'll have a look at starting on the ears at the top, okay? Right, so for my ears, so obviously dogs' ears sit right at the top of their head. So I'm going to start here with these lines. You want to leave a little bit of the top of their head here. So I'd say it's just before sort of halfway through this kind of section of the head. And you're going to draw some curved lines on either side, and then all the way down, so they've got these big floppy ears that hang just above their snout, just sort of next to their mouth. Okay, this again, it's just a guideline. You might end up changing the size, changing the shape. It's just to help us initially. And what I found was where this line is where I'm going to sort of add the outermost bit of the ear, the bit that sort of pokes out the most. Okay, so pause your video, get your lines for your ears drawn in, and then we'll add a little bit more detail to our nose leading up to the sort of doggy little eyebrows. Okay, right, so I'm going to add, so here I've done the outside of the ears here, and then on this bit you've just got where they sort of flop over their face a little bit. Okay, so it's a kind of sort of banana shape, like a big sort of fat bananas on the sides of their head. And then here I'm going to draw the snout bit, so it's going to go just like a big giant nose. So it's going to slope in towards the middle of the face, and then we've got these little eyebrows to go over their eyes. So as you can see, it is a lot sort of like when we draw a human face, but obviously they've got big floppy ears and a big snout here. Okay, so pause your video, have a go at adding in the shapes for the ears and then the rest of the shape for the snout. I think what I did later is make this a little bit bigger, but I'll go over that with you. So now what we'll do is we'll add in some detail for the nose and for the eyes. But yeah, as I said, just pause your video or rewind it if you need to go over anything. Slow it down whenever you need to. Right, so now we're going to add in the eyes and the nose. So now it just starts to look a little bit more like an actual dog. So dogs' eyes aren't huge. It's up to you how big you want to do them. I've done them quite small here. And that sort of classic almond shape eye, just a bit like human eyes, just a little bit smaller. And then I've done a big nose here, just above. So can you see how that shows where that mouth's going to be? Just here. And again, these are just our guidelines, and then the next bits I'm going to show you how to add in the detail for the eyes and the nose and use this guideline. Obviously, it goes right through the middle of the eye, so where those corners are. So do a nice curved line at the top and then a curved line at the bottom, and the same on the other side, and you want it sitting just in the middle of where that eyebrow is. And then with your nose, you want a nice big nose this sort of goes halfway through, and you've got a little bit of space up here. Okay, so pause your video, get those eyes and that nose drawn in, and then we'll have a look at the detail for the eyes and then the detail for the nose. Right, so I've added some detail with my eye. So what I've done is I've drawn in and then I've gone over it a lot. So I've drawn in the iris, so that's the coloured bit on our eyes, and then they've got really, really big pupils. So in our eyes, our pupils aren't very big, but in dogs' eyes, they're really, really big. So I've done one circle here, another circle here, and then I've just added a little circle here to give it a little bit more life, so it looks like some light reflecting on it. Okay, and then what I've done is I've added these here are their little tear ducts and a little bit of a longer line here, and then I've just gone over it so that my lines are a lot thicker, because when you look at a lot of dogs' eyes, they've got sort of like black eyelids and black around their eyes, so it's a bit thicker than our eyes. So have a go at adding that detail in. Use this as your reference point if you need to go back, or if you need to Google some images of what dogs look like, have a go at doing that. It's always good to have a reference. And as always, just pause the video if you need to, and let's have a look at doing the nose. Right, so for the nose, so we started off, I'll show you with this shape, yeah? So not quite a circle. You can do a circle if that's a little bit easier for you, that's totally fine, but this one's like a circle with sort of corners around there. And then what I've done is I've added the nostrils, so it's this sort of like upside down teardrop on either side. So if you can see here where the middle of that nose is, on either side you want to sort of chop it in half just below where it's half, and then add in those sort of teardrop shapes that go up rather than down, yeah, and then colour them in. And then down here, if you start from here and you just draw a line up and then just fill it in a little bit, okay? And if you want to, again, go and have a look on Google Images, have a look at a dog's nose, and that might make it easier. If you've got your own dog, like I know that Sasha does, you can have a look at a dog, what your dog's nose looks like. And then here what I've done is I've added some hairs to the eyebrows. So obviously we have really defined eyebrows. Dogs don't have as defined eyebrows. They're just really hairy, aren't they? So I've added in some hairs here and some hairs going up here. And then I've also started to add some lines here for some hairs around their sort of, I think they're called jowls, their sort of snout and their jowls and their jaw here. And then a little line for their lip. Okay, so we'll go back. So we've got the detail for our eyes, and now we've added the detail for our nose and our mouth and a little bit of the eyebrows and the hairs. Okay, and I've done an extra line above the eye. So just pause your video here and just have a look to see whether you've got all that detail that you want. And also what I did was I've made my ears a little bit bigger because I thought my face looked a bit big compared to the ears. So you can make your ears a little bit bigger, you can make them smaller, it's totally up to you. Again, if you've got a dog or you want to Google a dog, and you can just change it to be a different breed of dog just with the same face. Right, so now I've added in all this sort of detail of the hair around here. And then here, what I've done is I've added some hair onto the ears, okay? So I've made my ears a little bit bigger. And then on this bottom bit, I think it's a little bit like a spaniel's ears, where it's really furry. I've just done some sort of like jagged lines here to show the hair on the ears going down. So just have a look at your picture. So we started from here. That's our sort of, this is your sort of basic face. So if you're a bit lost, just go back, just check that you've got these details, and then slowly add in your details. Start with the eyes. Use this as a reference or go onto Google. Then you're going to add your nose, add in that line for the lip, and then add some details with some hairs. You can even add hairs all over if you wanted to, because obviously dogs have hairs all over. Check the size of the ears, whether you want to make them bigger, smaller, if you want them standing on top of the head like a German Shepherd or something. If you want even bigger, floppier ears, that's totally up to you. And then just add in all the detail for the hair on the ears. And then finally, what you should be left with is something that looks something like this. So here is our finished piece for our dog. Okay, and what I've done is I think I've just made my snout a little bit shorter and a little bit wider, and just added that detail for my hairs. And like I said earlier, if you have colouring pencils and you want to have a go at colouring it in, you can definitely have a go at that. I might colour it brown and white, or maybe you could colour it in yellow and it could be a Labrador. Have a look on Google and see what different colour dogs you could do. If you finish this and you've got your own dog, or you know somebody with a dog and you want to have a go at drawing that, use this as a guide and then just change the features as you see them. Okay, really looking forward to seeing your dog pictures, and I can't wait to be back at school with you guys. All right, see you later.